Yo, what up everyone, this is Intense Gamer, also known as Jeff here, and today I just wanted to give a quick little backstory to what is currently my main and go-to outfit in Fall Guys. So without further ado, let's get into it. So when you first start off, you only get a certain number of colors, patterns, and maybe a few costumes. But for me, when I first started, this is what I used. I used the mint chocolate color with the watermelon pattern. Obviously green is my favorite color, and with this pattern it sort of made the hands look like he has black gloves on. And initially I didn't quite know what direction I wanted to take when customizing my Fall Guy, but there was one pattern in the shop in particular that caught my eye, and it was the Hot Rod Flames. Obviously the colors are a bit flipped right now, but I kind of wanted my Fall Guy to resemble my character's mask with the black on the top and the green on the bottom, and so I was kind of hoping that I would get a color in the shop that would help resemble that. And at the time when I first saw this pattern in my shop, I didn't really have enough kudos to get it. So I was hoping I would be able to get it later on, but even then, after I had actually gotten it, I just could not let go of the watermelon pattern, so I ended up using it for quite some time. Next up, I would end up getting the ninja faceplate showing up in my shop, and back then I didn't have too many crowns, and this one cost 1, so I was a little bit unsure as to whether or not I should get it, but I thought it looked pretty neat, so I decided to pick it up. And then next up, at 2 separate times, the Ectopirate color and the Picture Perfect top would both show up in my shop. Ectopirate, you can see that it's sort of a flip between mint chocolate, since it has a black primary color and a green secondary. So if I did want to use the Hot Rod Flame pattern, I would use this color with it. And then also the Picture Perfect top. It just seemed fitting in a game like Fall Guys to have some sort of protective gear with the glove and helmet combo, as well as a nice little shirt that comes with it. Especially with all of the things that you bump into and all the times you fall over, it just kind of seemed like my guy would need some sort of protective gear. And also it's blue, which is my second favorite color. Next up in my shop, I would end up getting the inverted faceplate, which again, this one costs crowns, and I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to replace the ninja faceplate with this one, but one of my friends said it looked pretty neat, so I decided to get it, and it was also a legendary, so that was also a plus. But then, next we would end up getting the Beanbot faceplate, which again, this one costs crowns even though it was an uncommon, but I just like the much darker look of this one as well as the blue eyes, so I decided to get this one. And it's one that I've used ever since I got it, so I think it worked out. Now, for most of my time playing Fall Guys, I would not really use lower halves of the costumes because I thought that the top halves looked much more iconic. But in Season 3, I decided to ask myself, if I was to use a lower costume half, what would I use? And one of the first ones that I went to was the Krampus bottom. It has a sort of green look to it, as well as a nice little tail. The only thing I didn't quite like was the hooves, but I figured that if I wanted to use a lower costume half, I would use this one. And also, one of the things driving me away from using a full costume is I didn't really want to cover up the color and pattern that I would use. But then, soon after, we would end up getting the candle costume in the shop, and the lower half of the candle costume kind of looked like it had a gold color to me. So I just thought it looked pretty neat, and I decided to use this ever since. But then also in Season 4, we would also get the Game On color, and I thought that this one would end up replacing Ectopirate, because it's sort of two different greens, even though the lighter green is first and the darker green is the secondary color. But ultimately I just decided to stick with Ectopirate because I liked the black color that it had with it. But then we would get the digital color, and it sort of follows the same pattern as some of the other colors in Season 4, where it has a black as a primary color and then a glowy color as a secondary. And I knew that this one was coming from some of the Steam guides showing what would be coming up in the shop, and ultimately digital just kind of replaced Ectopirate. So that's a bit unfortunate, but hey, I like this color, and I think I'm going to stick with it for quite some time. So yeah, that's basically about it. I really just wanted something that was unique and that stood out so that during the panovers I could look at all the players and I would be able to see myself quite easily. And also I just wanted something that represented me, you know, with the green, the black, the blue, and the gold. And I think that this is just the perfect look for me. And also, since a lot of these items are much lower rarity, it kind of throws people off in-game and makes them underestimate me. And I'm really quite happy with how the outfit turned out. Feel free to let me know in the comments if you have a go-to customization and if there's any sort of story behind it. But for now, that's going to be it from me, guys. Next video is going to be going through my entire inventory of costumes up until, and I'll list the date in the video, basically showing all of my costumes that I have, of what I think looks good, some things that you maybe didn't even think of. That's going to be it from me, guys, and I hope you all have a great day.